Do footballers smoke? Have you even given it a thought? Don't be in a haste to answer. Think about it for a moment. They don't smoke, right? It's supposedly common knowledge that sportsmen don't smoke, but as popular as this notion is, it is wrong. Are you shocked? Sportsmen need their lungs to be in the best condition possible, so they shouldn't smoke, right? As perfect as staying off cigarettes seems for footballers, some of your favorite football players actually smoke. You might not be surprised players like Balotelli and maybe Robinho smoke, but you would be shocked some very successful players actually smoke too. You do not have to guess who these guys are. These are the 15 footballers who smoke in real life. The first name in this video is someone you could bet does not smoke. But before we see who he is, hit the like and share buttons. Also, click the bell button so you do not miss our other videos. Jack Wilshere. We all know Jack was quite a player when he had his time. However, his time was short-lived and we might never know what really happened. Wilshere's talent was not in doubt, but he never got to the heights many people expected him to. As beloved as the former Arsenal player was, he had a habit that several people did not like, and you do not need to guess what this habit was, as you already know. Well, this got him into trouble with the media, but not with his coach. While Jack struggled with the perception of the public on his smoking habit, Wenger gave him some reassurance. He said, "Don't worry, when I have a drink, I have a cigarette as well." It is difficult to believe Jack was a smoker. However, the next player is someone you perhaps already suspected was a smoker, as he had a thing for breaking rules. Mario Balotelli. Super Mario was the bad boy of football, and coincidentally, he was in the spotlight at the same time as Wilshere. They battled for the same set of awards, but we didn't even know they had something in common. Well, they both smoked. Unlike Wilshere, who seemed to care about the perception of the public, Balotelli appeared completely indifferent. Mario was spotted smoking a lot of times and even got in trouble for smoking on a train. He also got some backlash for smoking in public and for having a goal drought for Liverpool, as fans linked his bad form to his smoking habit. Super Mario was such a lover of smoking that AC Milan had to ensure he could not smoke or drink as a Milan player. It's funny how he went right back to smoking after leaving Milan. Gianluigi Buffon. Balotelli perhaps never got to his peak because of his many bad habits, but Buffon got to his and was there for a very long time, and you might think he followed the rules in the football Bible. Well, he didn't, because there is no football Bible. But if there were a football Bible, "Thou shalt not smoke" would perhaps be a major commandment, and Buffon would be guilty of breaking this commandment. You know why? He was seen smoking in public. Andrea Pirlo. The world might have seen Buffon smoke just one. However, that was definitely not the only time he smoked. Why are we so sure? We were not in his private space, but someone let the cat out of the bag. A former Arsenal striker once spoke about Buffon and other Juventus stars smoking in the restroom, and one of these stars was Pirlo. You probably never saw this coming, but maybe there's something about Italian players we might never find out unless we move to Italy. Fabien Barthez. Moving to Italy might bring us closer to footballers that seem to enjoy smoking, but who says we have to get to Italy before being close to players that have a thing for smoking? Former French goalie and perhaps one of the best goalies to come out of France, Barthez, was known to have a smoking habit, and maybe in addition to being a top-quality keeper, his smoking addiction was something he had in common with Italy's Buffon. It seemed like Sir Alex Ferguson would have had a problem with Barthez smoking, but he seemed just cool so long as the man did his job. Wayne Rooney. Speaking of Manchester United players that were smokers, Barthez was not the only United player to have a thing for smoking. But who do you think also loved smoking? Ferdinand Anderson or Rooney? If you guessed Anderson, you would be wrong. Rooney is actually the smoker here. The Englishman did not only love smoking, he also loved drinking, and maybe his career would have been longer if he'd stayed off cigarettes. He seemed at par with CR7 until the Portuguese winger left him in the cold. Wojciech Szczesny. We are not sure how much Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson had in common, but it's clear that they both did not seem to have issues with their players smoking. We are not sure what Ferguson's rules about smoking were. However, for Wenger, players were not allowed to smoke in the dressing room. This did not seem like too much to ask, but Szczesny couldn't keep this rule. Szczesny was once seen smoking in the dressing room and was reported to Wenger. He had to pay a fine of £20,000 and was dropped as a first-choice keeper. But who reported him? We don't know, and maybe we'll never find out. But feel free to let us know who the snitch was in the comment section below. Johan Cruyff. If at this point you still think the very best of footballers do not smoke, you are about to have a change of mind. This next player is perhaps one of the best of all time and definitely the best player from the Netherlands, and how he managed to play at a top level with a bad smoking addiction is a talk for another day, so you might want to check out our soon-to-be-released videos. Cruyff loved football, and perhaps the only thing that was in competition with his love for football was his love for smoking. The former Dutch player reportedly smoked about 20 cigarette sticks daily. For a regular guy, this was a terrible habit, so you have an idea how bad it was for the Dutchman. It seemed all cool to have a great career as a footballer and a smoker, but Cruyff actually paid the ultimate price. He died in 2016 after dealing with lung cancer. We can't say his smoking addiction had a hand in his death, but what else can we think? What do you think? Wesley Sneijder. Cruyff might have been one of the best players to come out of the Netherlands. However, in 2010, he had nothing on Wesley Sneijder, who was one of the best players not just from the Netherlands, but on the planet. The former inter-midfielder was a great passer of the ball and an expert in dead ball situations. These you already know. But one thing you perhaps never knew is the man also enjoyed smoking. Now you know Sneijder was more than just a footballer. Dimitar Berbatov. Unlike Sneijder, who was one of the biggest names in world football, Berbatov was perhaps not a force on the global scene. But in England, he had a big name. Beyond being a nightmare to defenders, the Bulgarian was also pictured smoking. He has denied being a smoker. In his words, "I pretended to smoke because I looked cool holding a cigarette. Sorry, brother, we can't take your word for it." Stan Collymore. If you had no business with English football, you perhaps know next to nothing about Stan Collymore. Well, the man played for Aston Villa and Liverpool, but there is more to him. He also smokes. This is difficult to believe. However, he was once seen smoking at the Euro in France. I guess he was trying to get calm after being tear-gassed, so he might be nothing close to a chimney. Ashley Cole. Famous as CR7's worst nightmare, former Arsenal and Chelsea left-back Ashley Cole saw it all as a left-back. The average football fan knows he won the Premiership and Champions League with Chelsea, and nothing is perhaps better than winning trophies as a player. But Ashley perhaps does not see things from our point of view. Are you surprised? Of course Cole enjoyed winning, but he seemed to enjoy spending time smoking just as much, and he never missed smoking during summer break. At least his team did not have to worry about the state of his lungs during the season. Paul Gascoigne. Football is supposed to make people make better choices with how they live, what they eat, drink, etc. This is perhaps the norm, but you know not everybody sticks to the norm. We have seen players like Balotelli, Zlatan, and Ronaldinho break the norm, but they are not the only ones that have done it. Paul also broke the norm when he decided to begin smoking at a much later time in his career. He wasn't originally a smoker, so we can assume he got influenced by a teammate. The crazy thing is, we might never find out who this crazy influence was. Jeremy Mathieu. Jeremy was basically concerned with satisfying the fans while on the pitch. He felt if he was able to do this, then he could live the way he wanted and really lived his life on his own terms. He is a smoker and is totally unapologetic. How do we know this? The Frenchman once said, "I'm not the first player to smoke, and I won't be the last, but when the fans watch me on the pitch, they are happy with me." Lionel Messi. So we saved the best for the last, and this has got to be one of the most shocking news you will hear today. It is easy to believe the best footballers on the planet are very prominent and exceptional because of discipline. But did you know that sometimes undisciplined people do better than those that are disciplined? Yes, this is rare and I know, but what if I told you Messi was a smoker? I know he does not fit into this video, but while he was winning those awards, he was actually smoking. So maybe smoking does not affect sportsmen that much. We have no proof, but this is definitely not a bad assumption. This is just as shocking as it can get, and we draw the curtains with this. So, what do you think? Is smoking bad for sportsmen? Kindly tell us in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this. See you in the next video.